Yeah.
And that's what I like about that. I feel like today's music, we have a lot of hard beats, especially Griselda, and that's their sound.
Yeah.
But like
That's
love when they
original
make
hip hop boom bap.
and the boom bap in straight New York.
Yeah,
you know,
that
old New York sound, which you have a lot of in your music too.
Yeah.
That classic New York sound.
Yeah.
You know. Were you consciously thinking about that when you were starting to create your sound? Like you wanted a real New York, or just that's the way you liked it?
When I honestly, I always just I flow on everything, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, like if you ask anybody about me, like it's any of my old school members and stuff like that. Like I'll tell a funny story. My boy probably like, oh, why you tell that story? But one time we used to have writing sessions, bro, and I'll never forget. I was just writing to the one beat, the Akon beat, and it was like a Jamaican type beat, Jamaican style beat, and I rap on anything. So I was the one that was always coming up with even that new song with David Corey. Get back, that's me. I was singing that, and then David sang that part, and I deleted it. I write everything. You know what I'm saying? Worked hard for this. That wasn't my song. I just got asked to jump on that song, and I created the song. Yeah, that's actually the Shark. Shout out to the Shark and them boys. So, like I said, I remember I was writing one song, and it was like a Jamaican. So he's like, "Man, this ain't hip hop." Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, "Man, this shit gonna be hot." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Man, I'm out," and he bounced. And when I went and I did the song. Mm-hmm. It was playing. This was like a few weeks later, and he was listening. He was like, "Yo, man, you ain't never showed me that joint. That shit hot." I was like, "Let me get on that joint." I said, "Man, you said this joint wasn't hip hop." He's like, "Man, I'm getting on that shit, bro." You know what I'm saying? And it's I never ever I did a remix on a mixtape one time to Michael Jackson's Human Nature.
Really?
I rapped on that beat when I was young. Yeah, any beat I could get. That's
tough.
I told you I come. This was my old school way of writing. I would go to the music store and I would get any singles. It didn't matter if it was Michael Jackson, Outkast, Tupac. Mm-hmm. I would buy the singles, and on the singles, like I said, they would have the instrumentals at the end, and I would write to anything. So I'll come from that era. So that's like you said, the penmanship comes from that because. I'm not just rapping to one style beat. Mm-hmm. I'm rapping to whatever I got a beat to rap to. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would write.
Which is artistry in the grand scheme.
Yep. And when I was a kid, that's what I was doing. I was going to the store and I would buy it out at the Main Place Mall. I don't know if you know about the Main Place Mall.
I remember it was closed down now.
Yeah, it's closed down now. But there was a store where they sold music and they had all the singles, like you could buy singles, and I would buy like 20 singles. Just songs and then have the beat. I remember I bought the Outkast Me and You. Yo, I was rapping on every single beat I could get my hands on back then. I mean, there was no such thing as just jacking beats. I guess that was jacking beats back then. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And now you just hop on YouTube and type instrumental and it's usually there.
Right.
But it wasn't like that back then. Yep. Say Outkast. My dad had the I like the way you move.
I'm talking about Outkast, Elevators. Like that joint is way older than that, man. Like I just remember grabbing all them joints and just rapping on whatever beats I could rap on, man.
That's crazy, but that's practice right there.
Yeah,
and getting used to the craft. Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask too. I mean, so the first time I saw you did a song with Benny, was I think on YouTube. Now I don't know how long the relationship's been, but I think it was 4 years ago. The first song that came out.
Body Not Found. I don't know if it was about 4. It probably was a little longer. But Body Not Found was, I think, Body Not Found and That First They Loved You. We went back to back a couple nights to the studio. So I've known Benny. Me and Benny been on mixtapes since being here in Sweet Sound. We used to all bring our mixtapes here when we were younger.
Okay.
So if you go back here, he used to have a wall of CDs, and you would see my first brick. You see Balistic Man's Murder Them on my mixtapes. I believe Conway, Westside. Shout out to Future, my boy Thugs, man. Everybody used to be here. We used to all have our mixtapes up. D Black, rest in peace. And we've been on DVDs together since like DVDs and same mixtapes around the town for years. You know what I mean? So I reached out to him once I came home. A little while after I came home, I got off tour with David Corey.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to network with him. When I got off tour with David, I reached out to Benny and I was like, yo, let's get some work done. You know, people have been asking for years. I don't know about you, but at least for me, like, yo, we need a Balistic Man and Benny the Butcher. We need a Balistic Man and Benny joint. We need a Balistic Man and Benny joint. So I was like, yo, let's get to work. And we did At First They Loved You. That was the first one we did. Shout out to Thugsman, my bro Thugsman. He's a monster. He's super talented. Raps, sings, plays every instrument. He produced that beat. We locked in at Thugsman's. We did At First They Loved You. And then I played it for my boy. He was like, yo, I like this joint. but we need another joint. Just can't be
He's
the
like, DJ Khaled,
nah, we
one.
need another one. So I'm like, really? He's like, man, nah. So we went back the next day. Not the next day, like a couple nights later. And we did Body Not Found. Thugs Man produced them. And, you know, they both had great feedback. You know what I mean? Body Not Found was just, people were like, whoa. Like, Body Not Found was for the bars. You know what I'm saying?
Bars, yeah.
At first, They Loved You was rocking on the radio though for like 2 years. It was like, I was like, all right, we went in there and I just made it. Let's make a joint. We had the, you know, it was catchy hook, great beat. We both went in, but they're like, nah, it's Benny the Butcher and Balistic Man. We need something harder than that. I was like, what, man? Go back. So I was like, all right, yo, I hit him back. I said, yo, B, we got to go back in the lab. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, let's do it. I saw it. And he, luckily, you know what I mean? Luckily, man, he, like I said, man, Benny's official. He came right through. And when Body Not Found came on, then he was like, I'll never forget. He was like, yo, he told Thugman, he said, yo, at 16? Thugman was like, yeah. He's like, give me 2 of those. I was like, oh, Benny dang. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you listen to the joint, it's 2 separate verses from me, and then Benny's actually got 2 16s. So when I jump in and I'm like right in the middle, I'm like, nobody but a still brother hurts for me. That's his second 16 coming in. That man or whatever. When he said that, I was like, yeah. The Butcher coming.
The Butcher coming. The Butcher coming. That's wild.
Yep.
So that takes, I mean, that's like, you guys have the history of being here. So the mixtapes on the wall.
Yeah. And go back, you ask Cito, anybody, like we've been doing, well, Cito's, you know, we've been doing this forever. We go, this is the spot. This is on the west side, at least. This is one of the biggest spots, and still standing here. You know what I'm saying? That used to push the everybody's tape. You wouldn't have no music out here on the west side if it wasn't for Cito. And yeah, me and Benny used to always have all of our stuff in here. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Did you ever, I guess, looking at how far they are now? You know, Griselda, and obviously being a part of friends with them. Did you see it back then that they could be this?
I looked up to Benny when I was younger. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm younger than Benny, a lot younger. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they realize that, but I am. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I was always the young boy. You know what I mean? Around a lot of so like a lot of older dudes. They always thought I was older than what I was. You know, almost a decade younger, right? So, but so I always like hearing Benny, you know, back in the day, like Benny was, you know, 2 Chainz Benny back then. And
I heard that the other day on an interview that he was 2 Chainz Benny.
He was 2 Chainz Benny before there was 2 Chainz.
Before there was 2 Chainz.
Yeah, he was
and
2
Chainz.
Yeah.
Said the name, and then he was like, "Yeah, just gotta."
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not to take nothing away from 2 Chainz. You know, I believe he was Titty Boy or some shit.
Titty Boy, yeah.
So
2 Chainz.
Yeah. When he came out as 2 Chainz, we was like, the whole city was like, how was that possible? 2 Chainz is Benny. You know what I mean? So you know, looking up to him and seeing what he used to do on all the mixtapes and everything like that, and you know, he was one of the top tiers on the tapes. So you know, looking up to him and seeing where they came, I always if I said if anybody's gonna do it other than myself, because I was like I'm going higher, it will be Benny. Yeah. So it wasn't surprising when he got put on, and then he even, you know, leveraged his situation to bigger than what it was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't surprising because Benny's, you know, he's built for it. You know what I'm saying? And he's been through all the battles. You know what I'm saying? He's been through everything he needed to be through. He's war tested. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he's ready. You know what I mean? He's ready to go as far as hip hop. So it wasn't surprising.
And everybody got bars.
Everybody got bars. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perseverance. I literally, like I said, I remember seeing him. I don't know if you remember. I remember seeing him when he had first came home, and I had just got arrested. I was going in. I don't know if he knew though. I was about to go in, and I remember seeing him, and he had just came home. And I was like, I heard he just came home, and I was like, yo, B, what up? He's like, what up? Oh shit, what up? I mean, I'm like, welcome home, but I don't think he realized I was about to go in.
Yep.
So like I said, just being through everything from letting the bottoms of the bottoms, you know what I mean, being at the rock bottom and then going all the way, you know, coming back and then fighting and, you know, grinding it out, and, you know, you got to respect that, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? And it wasn't surprising to see where he got to. You know
where he is now.
You know what I mean? It's always surprising. It's amazing. It's more amazing, you know what I mean, to see that, like, oh shit, he really, really, really did it. See, I told y'all he was going to do it. Yeah. He did it, you know what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, shout out to Westside Gun, because Westside opened a lot of doors. They're in Conway. Opened a lot of doors, you know what I'm saying, for everybody, you know what I mean, for Benny, and then, you know, the floodgates opened after that.
Yeah. And they're still open. I was going to say, go just piggybacking off that. You put out the song with Benny a month ago on YouTube.
Worked hard for this?
Worked hard for this.
Yeah, worked hard
for this. It's at 1 million, you know that, right?
Oh, that's Get Back. The Get Back.
Yeah,
the Get Back. Worked hard for this we did last year.
Okay.
Worked hard for this was another big single.
Is at 1 million.
Yeah.
In a month.
Yeah.
That's trajectory.
That's me, Benny the Butcher, and shout out to my brother David Corey. A lot of people don't realize that's another guy that's been through a lot.
Okay.
So David Corey, he was through he was on the X Factor. He's one of the finalists on the X Factor.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was born in Brazil. He got adopted. Came to America when he was like 1. Banged it out as far as like just music and just fighting through life, situations and stuff like that. And man, he ended up on a major TV show. You know what I'm saying? He's from Maryland.
From Maryland. Okay.
So I started doing work with him in Brooklyn. I remember I did the first song with him. We were in Brooklyn, and he was like, "Yo, I like you. I'll put you on tour with me. Come on tour. You could perform the single we did together at every show." I was like, "What?" So that's what happened. I was doing stuff with him, and then when I came back home, when that ended, I came back home. I was like, I gotta get something with Benny. Mm-hmm. So let me do this now, because I know he's about to go on a run. Mm-hmm. And I knocked those joints out. But I told David and I told Benny, I said, yo, I gotta get you on the joint with me and my boy David. And David, he was like, yeah, David, I heard that joint y'all did. He sing right. I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. I told David the same thing, and I eventually did it. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brothers, Killer Fraction, Ray at Killer Fraction Music Group. We're working on a project together. Okay. So shout out to Killer Fraction Music Group. Ray, that's a great dude. It's my brother right there. He's out in the BX. And Fraction Music. That's the producer. So I'm working on a project with them, and then Ray's like, yo, you think we can get you and Benny on a joint? I'm like, yeah. I reached out to Tony. Shout out to Tony Demir. Yep. I reached out to Tony because Benny's busy real. So I reached out to Tony. Tony set it up, lined it up. And I had the song. It was actually me singing the Get Back. And then David was out here with me doing a video. Okay. For we were doing on Fire and I Love It. And I told David, yo, you want to get on the show with me and Benny? You know what I mean? He was like, what you mean? We're going to the studio tomorrow. He's like, man, I'm with it. So he's like, what's the song? I'm like, boom. I showed him the song. He got it. He started. Now, David, I can't sing like David. David, that's another reason why I was like, man, man, what? Y'all just going to delete my part and you going to sing it. David, he started hitting them notes. I'm like, yep, let's go. So, man, we set the studio up, and I remember, never forget, man. I told Benny was there. Everybody came up there. We was at GCR, and I told Benny, I'm like, yo, David about to come. He's like, when he about to pull up. He's like, well, David coming too? Okay, where? So it was all organic right there in the studio. Benny laid out in his joint, and man, we just, that's how that joint came together.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fire. Because, I mean, Thomas is going off right now.
Yeah.
That's the Get Back, the biggest one so far.
Yep.
We said so far, too. That's the key word.
So far, yeah.
You got things in the chamber, I would say, It's a bit too much, but.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Another one is coming.
Yeah, another one is coming. Yeah.
Speaking of just going into like collaborations and features, I know a lot of it's organic. Yeah. When it comes down to like, I guess I know there's a label side of things too, and you're probably not signed right now.
No.
Not a label, so you can do what you want in that aspect. How does that work with features? Do people like contact you to get them, or I
mean, it all depends on who's like what. Like so, like it all depends on how the feature is brought. So like for instance. Worked Hard for This is a great example. Ray was doing another song with Benny, and now Ray is from Killer Fraction and Fraction Music. They were working on another song for their artist, The Shark. Shout out to the Shark. He's a legend on the BX. They were doing a joint together, him and Benny, and they just, they reached out to me like, yo, I got this joint with Benny and The Shark, and it got to be a banger. And I know when you I know that you're going to turn this into...
That's dope.
Because you got some artists that's just they're going to get on it, they're going to do their ones and twosies.
Yep.
But they know Balistic going to turn it into, something.
Balistic.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it into a record, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, he sent me a couple beats. We was right here. Matter of fact, it happened right here in Sweet Sound. So I was with Cito, and I'm like, yo, they just hit me up. They want me to do a joint with Benny and Shark. So I had heard a couple beats, and there was this one beat, and it had almost like the Scarface type theme. So if you listen to Worked Hard for This, you hear Scarface saying, what he's in the movie when he's like, I worked hard for this. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that part.
So that part is in the beginning, and that's where that song came from. But I got to shout out to my other boy Ray, because Ray did call me when I was working on the song, I was trying to come up with a theme. He calls me. I don't know. My boy calls me like at 2 a.m. And I'm like, "What's up, bro?" He's like, "Yo, you know when Scarface when he's like, I worked hard for this."
At 2 in the morning?
Like 2 in the morning. I said, "Yo, what's up, bro?
That was meant to be.
Everything good?" This is exactly how he is. "Yo, you know in Scarface when he says I worked hard for this?" I'm like, it's like 2:30. I'm like, "Yeah." But what he didn't realize is I was up zoning in my zone. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Yo, you gotta come up with a song." Like when he's like, "Man, I worked hard for this, man. I ain't heard nobody ever say that. You gotta let him know, like, yo, you worked hard." I said, "Bet. I got you." Hung up the joint and then I was just listening to the beat. I worked hard for this. So they got I worked so hard. And the beat happened to be a Scarface sample. Like if you listen to the beat, it's like a Scarface sample. So that's how that song came about. So that's like how some of the songs come about. Then like, David reaches out to me, he send me some joints, or I send him some joints. "Dave, you want to get on this?" "Nah, but I could get you on go with this." I was already wanted to hear what Ballistic was going to do to this. So it all depends on like how the songs come about. I reach out to a lot of people. Like we did the SAS joint for my boy. Shout out to my boy Omar out of, with the Smurfs. He has a brand called SAS, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I need you to do a joint for my brand, like how you did the Buffalo Herd joint." I said, "Word," but it can't be like a like when I make a like even though it's a brand type joint, I still want to make it something that's impactful and that the listener is gonna really vibe with and connect with, not just a cheesy brand joint. So he's like, "Yo, can we get Nems on there?" So I already got history with Nems. Bing Bong,
Bing Bong.
So holla at Nems. I'm like, "Yo, bro, I'm doing a joint for my mans." Boom, 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 boom. I got this idea, and that's where strong ass shit came from. You know what I'm saying? So obviously we talking about smoking some strong ass shit. SAS is his brand, but also we talking about just being strong in life. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about being strong, having to be strong through the situation with the feds, being strong in the gym. You know what I mean? Just anything that you had to be strong out in life. So we just created that and made it a song. It's a brand. It's like to promote the brand, but also at the same time, it's an anthem. But at the same time, it's something that a listener
has a meaning.
It has a meaning to it. You know what I mean? You can vibe and connect to it.
And that's the best when you make like an anthem has some meaning,
right?
And you can it's bang to it too.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like that. A lot. So in every single episode, I do something called a Rolling Stone round, where I do I do some this or that questions. Maybe they could have nothing to do with anything. Just this or that questions. But I want to do that Rolling Stone round right now.
I'm with it. Yeah.
And we'll get to it.
Right.
So we'll be right back.